say liar, who comes to mind? Is it a boy in this classroom, your sibling, or is it Charles Baker Harris? Well, you might know him better as Dill. Dill is the best friend of Scout and Jem Finch throughout To Kill a Mockingbird and the nephew of Miss Rachel, or Miss Stephanie Crawford in the case of the movie. He is a fun, quirky character that gives the plot depth with his attitude, constant curiosity, compassion, and friendliness. However, he tends to lie, or rather embellish his truths, especially about his parents. It is because of Dill that much of the story takes place at all. In fact, Jem says on the first page of chapter 1 that it began the summer Dill came to us, when Dill first gave us the idea of making Boo Radley come out. It is because of Dill that they first dally with Boo Radley, their scary, most likely disfigured neighbor. And then Boo continues to be a continuous character during the first few chapters. That made no sense. Okay. Another aspect of Dill is his somewhat intimate relationship with Scout. Scout coincides with that claim when she speaks to her cousin Francis on page 109. That is, of course, before she beats him up. Afterwards, they're not so civil. Okay, anyway, she says, "Don't say anything about it yet, but we're going to get married as soon as we're big enough. He asked me last summer." Now, how does Dill add to the plot? Well, I already mentioned that Dill is the one to initially inspire the children's involvement with Boo. However, using figurative language, he is also a slightly dynamic character. He doesn't change dramatically, but he doesn't stay static. Dill learns and matures from the extreme racism spreading throughout Maycomb from the citizens' usual disease. Another thing I like to add about Dill is that he is part of the huge metaphor in To Kill a Mockingbird. By being innocent throughout the novel, he can be referred to as a mockingbird. I'm not going to repeat the quote because you already know it. And like a mockingbird, people find it wrong to do such an innocent boy harm. I mean, Dill never does anything wrong and has no bad attributing traits except for his fascination with Boo Radley. Now to get on with my actual house. So there were hardly any specifics about Miss Rachel's house in the novel, but I used a few that were. First of all, in the back here, I did a small fish pool because Miss Rachel mentions it when scolding Dill for gambling by my fish pool on page 73. I added blue sequins to make it look reflective in a little tiny goldfish because it's a fish pool. And around it there are some dark rocks and little fake shrubs. Up here, oh, my sign fell. Okay, well, I did a colored patch in the front because that's where Jem and Scout first meet Dill. It's like right there. Okay, on page 7, Scout narrates, "Early one morning, we were beginning our day's play in the backyard. Jem and I heard something next door, and Miss Rachel Haverford's collar patch. It is made of the tips of some plants in my backyard." I just cut it off. Yeah, okay. Also, I'd like to add, this is my sister calls it a pom-pom. It's like made all of string. You tie it and then you cut the ends. Yeah, I needed some help on that one though. For the road and the tree, those were added so there would be some depth because, I mean, the tree is made out of an actual twig and some fake ferns. And the stone is made out of all brown stones that slowly get smaller the closer they are to the house. I found this in my backyard. Didn't dig them up, thankfully, though. It's supposed to be kind of like an illusion of sorts. It looks like you're walking down it. Okay, so for the actual house, I looked up pictures online and used the styles of more traditional houses that would fit Maycomb County. I gave mine a red coloration with bricks on the roof to add for effect. I did a front porch because everyone in Maycomb has a front porch in the movie. And I wanted it to fit the description where they mentioned that she has front steps. I did 2 little windows, and in one, this is like a icon, a shadow or something. I don't know the term for it. And it's where we learned that, where Dill says that his Aunt Rachel has a little nip after a good night's sleep, meaning she drinks a lot. And he even bets that woman drinks a pint for breakfast every morning. No, and he says he sees her drink 2 glasses full. And then, so she's drunk. That's it. Okay. So in the door, I put a dove for my theme because Scout may represent innocent best, and most obviously, but Dill also continues that theme throughout the novel. He is pure and young and clean. Unlike Jem, he never truly matures. He's polite, and during the trial, when Mr. Gilmore is rude to Tom Robinson and calls him boy, that hurts him a lot because his innocence doesn't allow him to recognize what's actually going on. He just sees it all black and white. For up here, which is my symbol, I did a Pinocchio and a blue dog. The blue dog is blue for no apparent reason, but it's a dog because he's loyal to his friends and he tries to bury and hide things about his past. The Pinocchio is because he lies a lot. Obviously, he has a long nose, so he does lie. He's been lying recently. So, once again, Dill is the best friend of Scout and Jem and is the neighbor of Miss Rachel Haverford. He is friendly, compassionate, and constantly curious. He is a major influence on Jem and Scout, and we must credit him to be the inciting force of the novel according to Jem. He embellishes his truth about his past, but no matter what, he will always remain steadfast to his friends. In fact, he was even going to marry Scout when they get older, or so he claims. Dill is also an innocent character who is part of the grand metaphor of To Kill a Mockingbird. Without him, the plot would sorely be lacking and missing what Harper Lee really wanted her readers to find, a simple love story. Okay, I'm done.